Mr. Bester, what do you think? 2 hours off the plane, look at the fish.
Pretty hot fishing.
I'm Darryl Choronzey. I'm with a real good friend of mine named Dennis Bester. We're up at Ignace Airways. It's also Ignace Outposts, right? We've been off the plane for less than 2 hours. We probably caught 40 fish, 45 fish like
35, 40, somewhere in there, yeah.
this. Stick with us because we're going fishing. I'm gonna take us right back to the rocks.
Perfect.
I'm going fishing all the time, and my baby's going fishing too. Bet your life that your sweet wife can catch more fish than you. Any fish will bite if you got the right bait. Now here's a little something that I'd like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing. Yes, I'm going fishing. My baby's going fishing too.
Going Fishing with Darryl Choronzey is brought to you in part by Yamaha. Reliability with every turn of the key. G3 Boats, a Yamaha boat company. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley, catch more fish. And by Darryl Choronzey's Canadian Fisherman's Breading and Batter Mix. Closed captioning for Going Fishing is brought to you by Skeet Soap. If you and your family are concerned about DEET, use Skeet. Deep in the heart of Ontario's rainbow country is one big, beautiful lake. Its name is Seseganaga, and it really can be classed as big when it comes to Ignace Outposts fly-in operations. The body of water is more than 25 miles long, covers more than 30,000 acres, and is full of walleye, northern pike, and lake trout. Seseganaga is what can be best described as a perfect lake. Structure, that all-important fish attractant, is everywhere. In fact, on this lake, a shoreline is never more than half a mile away. The lake is dotted with islands and shoals everywhere, and that's where the fish are. Stay with us as Choronzey and his good friend Dennis Bester chase down the walleye of Seseganaga.
Here's one here, Chronz.
You got one there, buddy?
Oh, yeah, that's a little better than that last one you got.
Well, what can I say? And I should say this before he brings it up. We just got here. We just actually got into the lake, right?
Just got into Ignace about 4 hours ago. We had to wait a little bit for the fog to lift, but we finally made it.
We're in here, though, actually no more than 5 minutes, and I said, I got one. It was like the size of my minnows.
That's a little better one, Chronz.
It's a nice-looking fish, eh?
Yeah, good start.
Dark fish in here.
Dark fish,
Eh?
dark lake.
You know what that tells me? It's really stained, this water.
That's shore lunch.
That's shore lunch.
Okay, buddy.
Just put them on the stringer over there.
7 feet of water.
And we're ready to go. And we did come out, and we were going to go fishing in, what, 20 feet?
Yep.
The trusty Laurent says 7.5 feet. You got that almost under the boat.
Exactly. We found this place called, should we say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Walleye World.
We're up here with Ignace Air and Ignace Outposts, right?
Yep.
And we're not going to say the name of the lake until we can really pronounce it right. But we got in with the head manager here, and he says, go to Walleye World. And I says, where's Walleye World? Disneyland? But it's not too far from camp. Mr. Bester. Hey, we got to say one thing. There is no wind, or almost no wind at all, right? So I call it motor mooching. Some of these guys call it back trolling. But we're keeping our jigs almost right under the boat.
We got to try to, well, we can't keep the drift going, so we got to keep the boat motor moving a bit, so. That's a nice one, Choronzey.
That's not bad.
Not bad for an old guy, Choronzey.
Old guy? I don't have all that gray. I may be 10 years older than you, but
never worry about the color of the hair.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
No, it's a great fish. Every one they're getting bigger.
Dark fish. Nice dark walleye, right. And again, and I think I said this before, but no fish story. We've only been in camp for about an hour and a half. We only got here 10 minutes ago off this point, right? Walleye World.
Walleye World.
Here, take Wally's son, right? But are they nice looking fish? They're really, really dark, and this is the last time I'm gonna say this. These fish are blending in with their environment. If the water's light, they get, light. If the water's dark, they get dark.
Okay, it's about time you give me the fish now.
I'll give you the fish. Don't drop the fish, put them on the stringer. And again, we've said this a couple of times. We took off across the north 4 or 5 days ago. We were fishing east of here. And then we said we had to come up to see Brian and Karen Graves, right? Ignace Airlines Ignace Fly-In, Ignace Outposts, you name it, they got the best in the world.
And they've got hundreds of lakes you can fish. You just pick one and go. Go for a week, go for a couple days, whatever.
Just look how close to shore we are. I mean, the walleye are in this lake everywhere.
Yeah, we're in 7, 8 feet. We're drifting out to 20, bringing the motor back in again like it's...
I hope you snag up so I can put a bait on.
Got one going here. Just hang on.
Will you quit?
Hang on.
Will you quit? I told Dennis I just got snagged on the bottom. Again, we're drifting really, really slow, and we're losing some jigs. What do you got on?
I got another walleye, and I would say he's within the slot size, I think.
There is no slot. It's over and under up here.
Over and
Remember
under,
that.
right, yeah. Okay, it's what? 3 under, 1 over?
Not bad, Dennis.
Not bad. Let's go. Whoa!
It's 3 under 18, 1 over 18.
That's just, I would say that's just under 18.
I'd say it's just under 15, but that's
We'll measure
okay.
it.
But what you got to remember when you come up here, you're allowed 3 under 18, 1 over 18, but you can keep 4 under 18. There's no reason to keep 1 over 18.
It's exactly 17 and a half.
Was it?
Yep. So
Nice
guess
looking fish.
where it's going.
I know where it's going. We're eating fish tonight.
Beautiful looking fish. Though,
Nice
aren't
looking
they?
fish.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
And now for the Darryl Choronzey's Canadian Fisherman's Breading and Batter Mix Campfire Comment.
You know, I'm with a real good friend of mine, Joel Toast, Wyerton, Ontario, right? Retired conservation officer. How many years were you with the Ontario government?
36.
36. The question is kind of dicey, and it's right across Canada, but we're relating it more right now to Ontario, right?
Mm-hmm.
The commercial fishery. Now, 15, 20 years ago, they could pretty well catch what they wanted, and then the government came in and put in quotas. They could run a million miles a net if they wanted, but they were only allowed to catch so many fish. Do you see many problems or a lot of problems right now with the commercial fishery in Ontario?
Well, honestly, the only problem I see with the commercial fishery is the native commercial fishery right
Okay.
now.
What is your concern with the Indian netting or the native netting?
Well, Kranz, when I worked for the ministry, I was concerned about the resource. I didn't really give a damn about minorities
Yep.
or anybody, any particular group,
Yep.
because we ran into lots of different groups depending on the species of fish we're trying to protect. In this case, we've got a group of people that are really, in my opinion, fishing without a license, so therefore they can't be charged under any fishing regulations.
Now, let's just stop right there. We're talking the Owen Sound Georgian barrier for starters, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying they don't have a license? They've got commercial tugs out there, and they're laying net all over Georgian Bay, and they don't have a license?
No, they have an agreement with the Ontario government that none of us know a thing about, even your local MPs or MPPs.
Yeah.
We know nothing. But they do not have a commercial fishing license. They do not have a Aboriginal communal fishing license, which in my opinion they should have, and then there would be some method of charging people that do things wrong. Right now, there's nothing.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something that scares me. First, you say they don't have a license, right? I remember when the government signed the agreement. The Ontario government signed an agreement with the Nawash natives, right? And everybody said, what's in the agreement? And they said, we're not telling you. They wouldn't tell the sportsmen. They wouldn't tell the politicians, right? This was seen to be between the ministry, the heads of the government, and the natives. So we don't know what's in that agreement, really.
The only people that know what's in the agreement, Darryl, are the head members of the Ministry of Natural Resources and the people they signed with up at Nawash.
Okay, now here's one other thing I want to say before we close off. And this, again, I'm not a racist. This is only happening with a small minority of the natives that have got these special permits, right?
Sure.
Here's what bothers me. I just got a darn report from the Ministry of Natural Resources that said they stock 1.5 million lake trout in Georgian Bay to bring the lake trout back. And where are they putting the lake trout? Right on top of the native nets. I was going to say Indian nets, but right on top of the nets of the Aboriginals, right? The fish swim through those gill nets like this, right? Until they get grocery store size. And then they end up in the EMP or at the fish market. If we're going to stock fish, don't put them on top of the special people's nets.
Well, my response to that, though, Kranz, is why are they stocking lake trout?
That's another story altogether. We know how messed up some of these biologists are. Again, this is not racially motivated. This is common sense. This is realism.
Oh, exactly. I've never been called a racist. I've been called a lot of things, but I've never
I called
been...
you a couple of things.
Well,
I'll tell you something else. You're never going to get any kind of consultant job with the Ministry of Natural Resources.
well, never. That's not going to happen.
Going Fishing returns with more walleye action.
You see that, Choronzey? He come out of the water. I did cheat a little bit there. I had a minnow on too, and he spit it right back in the boat so I don't have to go look
Oh,
for
now
another
you're
minnow.
mixing the minnows with the gulp.
A little bit, yeah, just to try something different. That's a nice fish. Can you get that for me? Or?
No, I'm trying to tie on a gulp alive. Nice looking fish.
I'm gonna try something here that a guide told me. If you turn a walleye upside down, he just lays them like that.
Yeah.
You just take the hook.
See, he didn't lie to you.
Pretty simple.
He didn't
pretty
lie to
simple.
you. Eh?
Then if you want to show them off to your buddy, you just hold them like that.
A guy that showed me that, his name was Malcolm Lurenberg, right, from Lurenberg's Lodge, up in Nakina. And he said it's called the Lurenberg lift. You know, that fish won't move as long as you've got his stomach depressed.
You know what? No, I tried that yesterday with about a 26-incher.
Yeah.
He did flip off.
Yeah, right over your head, if I remember right.
I'm going to keep this for shore lunch. Is that okay with you?
Go for it. I'm going to back troll back up the island. How's that? You know, for a minute there, I thought I was snagged, right? And I backed up, and I know I was snagged, but I backed up. And what you want to do is, here's another one. We're back trolling. When you snag, you go forward, loosen your line, and you want to try and get it out of the rocks. Yeah. It popped out of the rocks, and look.
Mr. Walleye's right there.
Gee, you know.
Sounds like you're complaining about that.
I'm not complaining about anything. There's all kinds of fish here. You know, what can you say? Hey, look what I've done. Upside down.
Upside down.
The calm release.
How's it work?
Works great.
Perfect.
Now, real quick, we're not going to keep a full limit, right?
No.
We've got a buddy. I'm just going to throw him away, but we've got two buddies over there fishing. Look at the conditions here. I mean, when we get through with this real quick talk, they'll see how dark the skies are. We just came from another area of the province in Northwestern Ontario, and the week before it was almost freezing for almost a month. But the weather went up to 95 degrees, and these fish shut down. And this is a real light bite.
I don't believe this.
You don't believe it?
We're 35 feet from shore.
Well, look where we are.
And 7 feet of water.
But keep your lines tight, drop down to smaller baits, and you'll catch fish under any circumstance.
Look at this. Another nice walleye.
Another shore lunch. And it's going back in the water.
Yep. Flip them upside down.
I am going to get us out
Flip
of here.
the jug out and let them go.
I'm out of here.
There's absolutely no doubt about it. When it comes to walleye fishing, the favorite lure in the North Country is the simple jig. The local angler's bait of preference is a simple minnow added to the hook, but these days more and more anglers are slipping on a plastic artificial, like a Berkeley power grub. What's that Berkeley saying? Fish bite and won't let go. Well, believe it, it's oh so true. And then there's the innovation of the Berkeley Gulp Alive. Saturated in a liquid gulp attractant, Berkeley Gulp Alive baits release special fish attractants 400 times more than any other scented baits. Just as important, Berkeley Gulp Alive baits are biodegradable, so if you lose one to a hang-up or a fish, there's no littering a lake bottom. They simply and safely disappear with time. With all the regulations and restrictions making obtaining or transferring live baits so difficult, Berkeley Gulp Alive really is the answer.
You know what? I could step off the side of the boat and be on shore. I can't believe we're this close.
And we're still got, well, about an hour daylight yet?
Hour and a half, you know?
Look at here.
It's a little better. Maybe it's a little better. But I'll tell you what, Dennis, look at how close we are to shore.
I know, it's amazing. It is simply amazing. Who would have thought they'd be in this close? Oh, you're gonna let him go anyways.
He was gonna go. Now, I'm gonna get the cameraman as soon as we finish talking to just pan across the shore. We're not 20 feet?
20 feet.
20 feet from shore. Bottom's going up and down. It's going anywhere from 28 feet to 4 feet. We're getting the fish around that 12 to 8 feet, and but they're almost cedar fish.
You have to use 1/8 ounce jigs or 1/4 ounce jigs and just bounce them off the rocks and hope for the best.
And once again, when you're back trolling, stop and go. If there's no wind, stop and go. You don't really want to speed troll. Just put it in gear, take it out of gear, put it in gear, take it out of gear.
Just go 200 or 300 yards, start the troll again, just keep going back and forth across the shoals. And
when you find the fish, don't be afraid to go back and forth over the fish. If you've got them, stay on top of them. If they quit biting, then move and go look for another place. But when you start hitting 2 or 3 walleye, go right back to the same spot.
Exactly.
And now for the Walker Deeper Diver Tip of the Week, taking your lures down and away. When it comes to fishing, visiting, and relaxing in Ontario's far north, no destination is better than Ontario's Sunset Country. Order up a copy of the latest Sunset Country travel guide and fishing map. It's free for the asking at www.sunsetcountry.net.
Mr. Bester, hot 2 hours on a lake.
Hot 2 hours, and we got, what, 2 hours, we got 45 fish?
I'd say 50. But then on a lake that we've never been on, you know, we talked to the camp manager, right? Yeah. And he said, use your fish finders. And, well, we won't talk fish finders right now, but he said, use your fish finders. Find the fish, find the shoals, you'll have fun. Listen, when we come up, we brought the ultralight gear out tonight.
Exactly.
I got 6-pound trilene, right? I've got a new Abu reel, and I've got a new Abu rod, but everything is ultralight. It's not even medium, it's ultralight. You're geared up with ultralight.
I'm geared up with a 6-pound test and a small cardinal reel, and I think it's a 602 model.
Well, if you can say cardinal, I can say I've got their new Soren. How's that?
Exactly. Something else we've been using, when you come this far north and your guide or your camp manager is using Gulp Alive.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
that
we?
surprise you?
Why wouldn't we?
We got off the boat, and Joe says, hey, I'm running Gulp Alive leeches, right? And I said, hey, that's really great, but somebody in our camp bought $65 worth of leeches and $65 worth of minnows. You can use artificials up here and catch fish, no problem.
Yeah, the nice thing about them, you don't waste them either.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what, 2 things first. I'm gonna take this little box out here and show them. A year ago, Josh bought me a box of jigs. He didn't tell me it weighs 25 pounds. But if you look at the box, it's got every color that you need up here, right?
3 or 4 different sizes.
Yeah, 3/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce,
1/8.
1/8.
Yeah.
You know, the smaller the jig, the shallower the water. Okay, let me put this right here. When you come up also, it's a godsend, and it is a necessity, right?
Yeah, bring your Lowrance. Portable fish finder, works great.
You know, if you don't know where the shoals are, honestly, you're not going to know where the fish are. There's
One
no
good
two
thing
ways
about this one too, it's got GPS right inside of it.
So if you leave from camp, push the button, follow the tracks all the way down, want to go home, follow that trail all the way back.
You need that.
You have something there. What is this thing?
My handheld Expedition.
GPS.
GPS, and it's got the all the maps of Canada loaded into it with topographical maps, and it works fantastic.
It probably costs around $300. You can use it anywhere, snowmobiling, you know, anywhere you want. But Dennis, about 2 years ago, you got it and you started loading the maps in. And when he gets to the camps, you ask the manager where are the hot spots, and you punch them in on the map before you even hit the water.
Exactly. Then you can find your way back home too, and good to go.
Now, we got off the plane at 4 o'clock. We played around the camp for a couple hours. It's now 7:45. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm hungry.
Yes.
I'm hungry. And I feel like steak tonight and walleye tomorrow morning.
That'd be
How's that
perfect. Steak tonight and walleye and eggs tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, we'll make it up. You scramble the eggs and I'll clean the fish. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Let's go for it.
Going Fishing returns with the Napoleon Barbecue's Shore Lunch.
Now listen up. This is the finest lunch, supper, midnight snack you can have when it comes to fish. Now, one thing that's really important, if you're gonna use a barbecue, make sure it's a Napoleon. I don't think the other barbecues, not that I don't, I know they can't make fish sandwiches as good as my Napoleon does. But listen, you can do it on the barbecue, you can do this in the kitchen, you can do it at the campfire, you can do it on the grill, you can do it in the frying pan, and it's a fish sandwich. I spend a lot of time in the Florida Keys, and everybody in the Florida Keys eats fish sandwiches. Not hamburgers, they're fat, but fish sandwiches, there's no fat involved. The other thing you really need, and I'm a little biased, Darryl Choronzey's breading and batter mix. So all you're doing is taking moist walleye, all right, and you roll them in my coating and batter mix. I've left the skin on. Now these are walleye fillets, they've been scaled. I like the skin on, but you can take the skin off if you want. You definitely want to take off the scales. You want the heat around 360 degrees because you want to seal in those juices. Now, again, you serve this the same way you would a hamburger. Take the fish, you put it on the buns, and if you look what I've got on the other side of the bun is nothing more than lettuce, tomato, and onions. But to really spice up the fish burger, you need a slice of cheese. Again, no calories. It's better than a hamburger. You stay thin, you stay smart. What could be finer? Okay, listen up. Fish sandwiches. Again, you stay thin. I'm gonna face the camera. You stay thin, you stay smart. You can make fish sandwiches out of anything. You can make them out of cod, you can make them out of haddock, you can make them out of salmon, steelhead, perch, walleye. They're delicious. But I want you to do me one favor. Enjoy the fishery that Canada has to offer. I'm gonna munch into this sandwich. Oh, see you next week. I'm going fishing.
For more information on today's fishing location and other going fishing destinations, visit goingfishingtv.com. Going Fishing with Darryl Choronzey has been brought to you in part by Yamaha, reliability with every turn of the key. G3 Boats, a Yamaha boat company. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley, catch more fish. And by Darryl Choronzey's Canadian Fishermen's Breading and Batter Mix. Going Fishing would like to thank the following fine sponsors.
Going fishing.